Throughout the years, our channel has had a great opportunity to be able to support various charities and help raise money for them through the various events that we've done over the years. And last month, we had the opportunity to add on to our charitable involvements when we welcomed Farwell for Hire to join us here at the channel for the launch of Rocket League. During the stream, we had the opportunity to talk to him about his ambitious and very impressive campaign where he goes to take on various tasks that people assign him. And it was certainly a wonderful experience to have him not only with us, but also learn of what he's done over the years. Because, of course, since we are grateful for the opportunity to welcome you here, Mike, to Let's Play Novel Autism, we're going to take an intermission here to give you the opportunity to talk about why you're doing this drive, who you're doing it for, and tell us some of the experiences that you've had over the course of the time that you've been doing this.
So this is the 5th year, and thank you so much again for allowing me to be part of this tonight.
Of course. We're truly honored to have you with us.
It's really a thrill for me too. And this is a campaign now that's into its 5th year. I started it because I'd been doing various kinds of fundraising for cystic fibrosis for many years and was just looking for a different way to do fundraising. I would always just go and ask people for money and, you know, ask if they can sponsor me for various events. And after I got tired of that, I started doing crazy stunts like jumping out of airplanes and things like that.
Skydiving?
I went skydiving, yeah.
Wow.
And I figured after that, what's left? What's left? So I came up with this idea that I would hire myself out for odd jobs, and then instead of being paid for the job, I'd ask that the person who hired me make a donation to cystic fibrosis. So as I said, this is the end of the 5th year, coming up on the end of the 5th year of the campaign, and it's been wildly successful, beyond my expectations when I first started it. And the reason I do it is because I lost 2 of my sisters to cystic fibrosis. If you don't know what CF, cystic fibrosis, is, essentially what it comes down to is a disease that affects the lungs and the digestive system primarily. Difficulty with digesting food, so there are medications that can be taken to help with that. But eventually what happens, because there's no cure yet for this disease, your lungs fill up with so much mucus you just can't breathe anymore, and that's the end. So I lost my sisters, I can't believe it, it's 25 years ago now, and I've come back to doing this fundraising, and I do it in the month of May, because May is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's why, again, I'm really happy to have this opportunity to help, you know, spread the word and raise some awareness about what cystic fibrosis is and why we do this campaign during the month of May.
That's awesome. So, I'm sure that a lot of people are, of course, not aware of some of the things that you've done in regards to this particular campaign. Like, what are some of the more interesting things that you've done over the course of this?
I'll tell you, it has absolutely run the gamut. You name it, and I have pretty much done it. I had some great experiences during the campaign this year when I got to go to an auto recycler and crush cars. I got to get into the big machines myself and smash cars into little bits. It was so much fun. I got to go out on a paving crew, and that's hard, hot work, but I got
it is. And smelly.
Oh, absolutely. All of the above.
Because the tar fumes are noxious.
Exactly. But I got to drive all of the equipment. I was rolling the tar after we had put down the patches. And
did you take a wrong turn?
No, I was pretty good. Although the one machine they put me on, I was pretty good backing up in the open parking lot we were working in, but trying to steer it into position to do the work, I did not do very well on that. So I had some really neat experiences like that, and then other things that I've done. I mean, it's been as simple as weeding a garden. I do a lot of that at this time of year, obviously, as people get ready for spring. And I've spent far more time than I ever thought I'd spend with farm animals as well over the course of this campaign.
So you've seen quite a few of those. I've been following the campaign on Facebook throughout, and I've seen some of the places that you've gone to, not just here in the Waterloo region where we're located and where this is primarily happening, but I've seen pictures of you going to help out at a parade in New Hamburg, which is a town west of here, as well as going out to a town northwest of here called Listowel. And so, yeah, you've definitely covered quite a lot of ground during this campaign.
Yeah, I will really just go anywhere that a job takes me. I've traveled as far as Mississauga even this year when I went to MC a banquet there, and in Listowel, it was a great night with the Listowel Legionnaires baseball team. I love baseball, not quite as much as hockey, but it's awfully close, and at this time of year, it's definitely baseball season. And I really enjoyed the night at the ballpark, and they were really supportive of the campaign. I get out to North Dumfries a few times too. Team Vincent Motorsports in Ayr, a little community west of here, gave me a Can-Am Spider to ride around for the weekend, and I had a lot of fun doing that as well. So it's been widespread support for sure.
And I'm sure that given everything that you've done, I mean, given the fact also that you've been doing this for the span of an entire month, I mean, that obviously cannot, it obviously must take its toll to some extent, I must imagine.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's 7 days a week, and I do it on top of my regular job. So I still have a job to do at the radio station, but I try to work this campaign and the things that I do during the campaign around my work schedule. So here, you and I are sitting here on a Sunday night, and my day started around 8 o'clock this morning when I went out to Waterloo Park, and we had our big walk to make cystic fibrosis history, we call it. And I spent several hours there, and then it was out to an open house with a realtor who invited me to help them show their home today. And just,
so they had to give you a tour of the house first before you had to give other people the same thing?
Exactly, so I could learn all the ins and outs, and they hoped that having me there would help attract more people to come through, so it was a really neat experience for that. And it's almost like being a real estate agent for a day.
Could you describe the house for us, since we have a little time to do so?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a multi-level home in the south end of Kitchener. And it was beautiful, not too big a property, really nice, easy to maintain, but when you came in, you found hardwood floors throughout, ceramic tile in the bathroom and in the kitchen, quartz countertops, which were really nice in the kitchen as well, and all new appliances. So it was, if I didn't have a place that I liked, I might have been in the market to make a bid on this one, but it might have been a little out of my price range too.
What was it going for?
It was going for $675.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's again.
That's probably why I will never own a house in my lifetime.
Yeah, they're getting more and more expensive around here. That's for sure.
They really are. Your goal, as I'm sure our viewers are not aware, is to reach $100,000 by the end of the campaign, which is basically half of the total amount of money that you've been able to raise for the campaign since its inception.
That's right. You've got the numbers exactly right. The very first year that I did this campaign, which was May of 2014, and again, it's always in the month of May because that's Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, I thought it might help me raise $10,000 for the charity, and we ended up raising $20,000. So I did it again the next year, figuring, hey, you can raise $20,000 in a month, you're doing pretty well. And we made $28,000. So I did it for a third year, thought maybe we'll make it to $30,000, and we made it to $47,000 in year 3.
Wow.
Yeah, so then last year in year 4, I thought, okay, well, 47 is about as much as we can possibly get, but I'm going to nudge that goal up a little bit and say, let's go for $50,000 in a month. It's more than $1,000 a day.
Right.
And sure enough, we blew right through that and made it to $88,000. So this year I thought, well, what the heck? This thing's out of my control now. I'm gonna see what happens. So we put a $100,000 goal on the campaign, which works out to just over $3,000 a day. We have to fundraise through doing odd jobs and still do our regular job. And I'm really happy to say that as of this morning, we're at just under $95,000 raised. And I think we're going to make it. I think we've got the rest of the week in the campaign. I think we're going to make it.
Yeah, and I know what we're giving you tonight is just a drop in the bucket in comparison to what some of the other people have done. But nonetheless, the fact that you chose to come join us tonight is so very much appreciative, and we're grateful that we could contribute to your efforts to help out people who are trying to deal with cystic fibrosis, to honor the memory of your sisters, and to show everyone what a wonderful community we have in the surrounding neighborhoods, because I know that there are a few people who really don't see how wonderful they have it here in Waterloo region and how generous and wonderful people can be. And I just wish that if those people could see what a person like you are capable of, maybe it could help them to change their perceptions and be able to give them a better understanding of the wonderful generosity and the kind-heartedness that people here have in Waterloo region. And you are such a shining example of that, and we're so grateful that you're here with us tonight.
Well, I thank you again, Matthew, and I echo your sentiments about the generosity of this community in particular. And you know, in the grand scheme, sure, you know, $100 donation that you've been so generous to make to me tonight may be a small portion of the $100,000 goal, but a friend of mine said earlier this month during the campaign that this is, and I've been lucky, I've been very fortunate to have some pretty big corporate donations this year, some as much as $5,000, a whole mitt full of $1,000 donations. But my friend said earlier this month during the campaign that this is something that's made up of a lot of little things as opposed to one or two or even 20 big things. We get into so many different areas of the community that really make an effort to take part, that they want to participate in this, and they do whatever they can from their little corner of this community. And that's my absolute favorite part about it. So if it's $50 here, $100 there, $250 over there, and $1,000 from someplace else, easily every May now I'm doing more than 100 different quote-unquote jobs. And you know, jobs can range from a webcast like this to weeding a garden to hosting a barbecue. And the number of people we get to meet is, and the number of people that contribute is really, truly phenomenal.
So yeah, it was really great to get to hear you talk about your story and everything that has happened over the course of the campaign, of course, who you're doing this for. So once again, Mike, thanks so much for joining us here tonight.
You're so welcome, Matthew.
And when it was all said and done, he was able to raise much more than he could have ever imagined. Over $135,000 for Cystic Fibrosis Canada. A huge congratulations to Mike Farwell, and we continue to wish him well in his pursuit of helping to bring a cure to people who suffer from cystic fibrosis. Thank you for watching. If you're looking for more ways to support various charities, our channel supports Extra Life, a series of webcasts that raises funds for Children's Miracle Network. Come by to any of our webcasts and take some time to make a donation to the cause.